The Marvels was the first MCU movie that I have outright refused to see in cinemas because of the terrible marketing, because of the negative reviews, even prior to its release. I decided to wait until it came out digitally. That happened, and now I want to talk about it. I don't think that The Marvels was as bad as people are saying. The first act of the movie was great. Second was okay. Third, not so much. You could have done a little bit better. But here's your spoiler warning. We're going to be talking about a lot of plot points throughout the movie. It has been out for a while. I assume you would have seen it. The first act of this film I thought was great. Samuel L. Jackson absolutely smashes his role. He's kind of like a mentor character now, guiding Kamala Khan as she kind of not becomes an Avenger, but she wants to slide in the DMs and get into the team. He's then got a really casual and fun relationship with Carol Danvers. They have this ongoing banter back and forth for the first like 20 minutes of the movie, which is great. And Monica Rambeau actually works with Nick Fury on Saber, which is like an orbiting space station thing that protects Earth. And it's really cool to see the character mechanics that work and how they all play off on each other. And I thought that that was done really well. And Samuel L. Jackson's comedy in the first act of this movie is brilliant. There's one scene that I'll talk about that kind of really hit me, and it's the dumbest little thing. Kamala Khan is falling from the sky, and Samuel L. Jackson calls out to Monica Rambeau. He's like, you need to fly. Monica Rambeau's like, I don't know how to do that. I'm trying to figure it out. Monica Rambeau ends up flying, trying to save Kamala Khan. They're having like a struggle in the middle of the air because they're both trying to figure out how to make this situation work. And then at the very last minute, Kamala Khan switches places, like you've seen in the trailer, with Captain Marvel, hits the ground. There's a very slight moment of hesitation with Nick Fury. He realizes it's Carol Danvers. Oh, it's Captain Marvel. She's cool. I don't know why that just hit me so much, but just seeing that fun, casual, comedic side, knowing that Captain Marvel is way too overpowered, it was just really cool to see. And I felt like that element, if they had continued with Nick Fury actually being comedic and having a strong presence throughout the movie, I think the movie would have done a lot better. But anyway, after we get past the first act, we kind of understand what the antagonist is doing. And honestly, the antagonist is like the main negative for me in terms of how much I enjoy this movie, because I just didn't care about her. She has this mission to save her people, which, okay, fine, we've seen that kind of thing before. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but the way she goes about it is just so stupid. We know that she's got a grudge against Captain Marvel for a decent reason, but in the process of trying to save her planet and save the people she grew up with, she kills hundreds and thousands of people, entire cities and civilizations, and Captain Marvel doesn't do anything about it, really. I mean, she tries to save the day and then just ends up abandoning ship. There's this weird singing and dancing number that I didn't make any sense to me. There's this whole group of people that can only communicate by singing. I'm sure you've heard people talk about it before in other reviews and things like that, but that didn't really hit me. Like, I would have understood if it was a case of they are offended if you don't sing, but no, they just, if you talk in normal, hello, me and you having a conversation, they don't understand, but they'll sing the same words. I feel like you could have just literally just changed how that mechanic worked, put it to, if you don't sing, they're going to be annoyed with you, so we need to sing, otherwise we're not going to be welcome here. That would have worked a little bit better. I feel like that scene got a lot of hate online. I didn't actually mind it too much. It's just the weird language thing that didn't really work for me, but it's not a bad scene. The singers are all pretty good. The outfits are okay. Then the only other negative really that put me off is the fact that Monica Rambeau had this big grudge against Captain Marvel. We've seen it in some of the other MCU series, and within 2 minutes of meeting Captain Marvel again and them having a little chat, they put this little device on their head and look at memories and whatever. 2 minutes. And all of that is forgotten about. And I'm not complaining, because I'm glad they're getting along. I'm glad they've got a relationship now. But at the same time, it's like, okay, well, what was with the big thing? Like, why are we building this big argument, this big relationship issue just to throw it out the window? Throughout the second act of the movie, Samuel L. Jackson takes a back seat and isn't really comedic anymore. He tries to deliver some comedic lines, but he doesn't have the relationship with Carol Danvers and all that anymore. He's just doing his own thing on a side mission aboard a ship. The Flurkin goose is now procreating and leaving eggs absolutely everywhere, which I think again was a weird side quest, but it's cute cats. I guess they were going for the internet memes. Didn't really work out for you, to be honest. I see where your head was at, Marvel, and could have been done a little bit better. They tried putting so much tension on this whole Flurkin egg cat situation, and everybody in the ship is going to die and everything else. The escape pods are all running out. Like, I just didn't care. Like, they're not going to kill off Samuel Jackson. They're not going to take out everybody on the ship. Within 2 minutes, the Flurkins had consumed all the people and then started vomiting them back up on Earth because everybody managed to escape inside side of a flirkin. That was like one of the dumbest things I've seen in the MCU, but sure, okay. The main drawback for me was just the fact that Samuel L. Jackson wasn't really involved in the main story anymore, and that kind of sucked. In the third act, we have this little showdown between the antagonist and all three of the Marvels. Marvels obviously win, and I don't think any of them actually get hurt at all. So it's not really a showdown. It's like a little tuffle, a little wrestle on the floor, a little smack on the wrist, and then everybody's all good. The antagonist sacrifices herself in one final attempt to damage the multiverse or something. She gets both bangles, which is pretty much the entire objective for the movie, to get the bangle and then use that to save her planet. She gets them both and does something, and instead of saving her planet, she just tears a hole in the multiverse, which plays out in the post-credit scene. We'll talk about that in a minute, and then that's pretty much it. Monica Rambeau is trapped on the other side of that portal in a different universe, a different reality. Captain Marvel goes and saves all of the people that the antagonist was trying to save in the first place by relighting their sun. The antagonist was trying to steal ours. Captain Marvel just goes up there and just boom. Okay, you have a new son now. Congratulations. And Kamala Khan gets this kind of pre-credit scene where she becomes the next Nick Fury in a way, and she kind of sets up for the Young Avengers meeting Kate Bishop. I thought that was pretty cool. I'm not keen on the idea of a Young Avengers movie or series, but seeing her in that role and seeing her like she's always dreamed of becoming an Avenger, and now she's leading her own team. I thought that was pretty cool personally. The movie as a whole I didn't dislike. If I were to give it a review, it would probably be like a 6.5 out of 10. It's nowhere near one of the best MCU projects that we've ever had, but at the same time, I don't think it deserved all the negativity and the hate that we saw online. It was a fun watch. The action was okay. Kamala Khan actually was a badass in this movie. Like, I was expecting her just to use some powers and things like that. I thought that Kamala Khan was actually more fun to watch in these choreographed fight scenes than Monica Rambeau and Captain Marvel combined. There was just something about how athletic she was and how well she used her powers. It was just really cool to see. I love Iman Vellani, man. She's fucking amazing. And then we get to the post-credit scene, and Monica Rambeau is trapped in the Fox universe, or at least the restored version of the X-Men. If you've seen all the X-Men movies before they did the younger characters stuff, I think that's the universe they're trapped in, because Hank McCoy shows up, played by Kelsey Grammer, which makes me pretty certain that this is set after the events of X-Men Days of Future Past. If you haven't seen all the old X-Men movies, they're actually not that bad to watch. Everything after Days of Future Past, slightly different story, but seeing that version of Hank McCoy again was actually really cool. And it makes me really think that Deadpool 3 is going to be in that universe, and that's how they're not interfering with Logan's story. It's a really good tease, and it gives you a lot of insights as to where Kevin Feige is going with all this. But that's pretty much it in terms of a synopsis for the film itself. Like I said, I enjoyed the movie. I didn't think it was the best MCU project that we've ever seen, but I felt like it didn't deserve anywhere near the amount of hate it got online. The characters worked great with each other. The action sequences were pretty cool. The dog fights were pretty cool when they're all flying around in the spaceships and stuff, trying to save the singing city, whichever that was called. I will say that the biggest issue I have with this is simply the fact that Samuel L. Jackson was one of my favorite characters, but there is no continuity between the Marvels and what happened in the events of Secret Invasion. And that sucks, because I feel like for better or worse, we learned a lot about Nick Fury as a character, but there was no mention to everything that happened. We got one little thing of Valkyrie popping in and saving all the Skrulls, assumingly taking them to New Asgard, because in Secret Invasion, extraterrestrials are pretty much banned from Earth, and New Asgard is assumedly now some kind of safe haven for these otherworldly beings. But that darker side of Nick Fury, we don't see. I like the comedic aspect, but that isn't the same character we saw a couple of months prior. There's no mention of Gaia. That rhymed. See what I did there? And you would think that if Nick Fury is putting together this team of superhero Marvel character type things, Gaia would be up there as one of the most powerful beings in the MCU right now. I know she's off doing her own thing, but still, like, I just love continuity myself. I love seeing how these characters shape the future of the MCU. It's very hard to care about the MCU at the moment because we have Secret Wars coming up, and we know that's going to be a bit of a reboot. We don't know which characters are staying, which ones are going, what implications that's going to have, and it makes it very hard to care about these characters and these story and the plot points when we don't know if it's going to matter. That's all for now. Let me know what you thought about the Marvels, and if you thought it was negative, let me know why, because I genuinely want to talk about this. I want to debate it in the comments. I don't think it was an overwhelmingly negative film. I don't think it deserved the hate, but would I go out of my way to watch it again? Probably not. It was better than Echo, though. I'll be honest, I didn't really enjoy that series, and I'll talk about that in another video. But for now, I love your faces. You're amazing, you're beautiful, and I will catch you in the next one.